Well, it all comes down to fiscal stimulus. I mean, I think the way I've been thinking about this is the authorities, if you like, have been building us a bridge from one side of COVID to the other. Unfortunately, with the vaccine, we can at least see the land on the other side of the bridge. But that bridge has got to remain in place. And the fiscal stimulus in the States, we know that was a hefty bridge back in the spring. In fact, on our calculations, about 75% of individuals who lost their job at the time actually received more income because the unemployment insurance was so significant. Now, of course, we know that all ran off. That ran off in July, and we're desperately looking for a new fiscal package. So I do think that is the risk, and it is the risk, I think, from this idea that, you know, when we can now see the other side and we've got this pent up demand to be released in the second half of next year. I think that will be the case as long as the fiscal authorities globally, not just here in Europe, but in the States, manage to, you know, maintain those incomes, keep that savings rate up, because that's what's going to be the fuel for not just the recovery, but near-term activity to get us through these difficult winter months.
Karen, if we talk a little bit about this dip, though, before any vaccine is rolled out, what we're hearing later on today, which parts of the UK move down the tiers, so effectively just how tight the restrictions will be for the next month. London, obviously has been in this very tight situation where you've seen a few cafes and takeaway facilities open and some services still conducted. But it's hard to see that the bounce back is going to be as strong this time round, particularly if there's no mingling between households and what is a huge seasonal time for many of the retailers and also for restaurants. So what happens after this? It doesn't feel like we're going to get out of December, and January is going to be any different either. So how difficult will the next few months be as a result of these continuing restrictions over winter?
You're completely right, Karen. I mean, until, it's going to be a very dark winter. In my mind, we should be looking at activity that's pretty stagnant at these levels that we've reached in November, probably till around March or April time. I think it's the significant restrictions are going to be needed in place in order to keep these infection rates under control, because of course the difference with this lockdown, as we all know, is it wasn't as stringent as the first one, which may mean the economic impact near term isn't so big, but it also probably means we're not going to see those infection rates shoot down to negligible levels like we did see last time, which allowed that greater process of reopening. So I think we're muddling through, Karen, and it's going to take a significant number of months. I think my concern for the market in the near term is not so much about Europe, where we know this, and we're fairly confident that that fiscal bridge that I talked about is going to keep tiding us over. It's the States. We're seeing that exponential path for the infection in the US. What is it they are going to do to get the situation back under control? Who's going to be making the decisions and at what point? So I think that to me is the real concern, is that maybe is underestimated within the conversations in the market at the moment. And particularly, as I say, the market will be okay if it hears those restrictions are coming in the States, so long as there's that big fiscal bill that accompanies it. The wobble will come if that's not the case.